Hi there, Loy Machedo speaking to you from loymachedo.com and Loy Machedo TV. Today's book review is going to be The Presentation Secrets of Steve Jobs by Carmine Gallo. Hope I got that name right, Carmine Gallo. All right. This book is primarily about presentations done by Steve Jobs and how did he do it. I mean, it focuses on the content, his presentation style, the various nuances that Steve Jobs had that made him a legend of our times. I mean, he was a champion salesperson, he was a champion presenter, he was a champion marketer. Anything that Steve Jobs would do, newspapers were talking about it, everyone was blogging about it, and it just became viral almost every time. So this book kind of focused on the presentation secrets that Steve Jobs had and what is it that he did. Now, a couple of things that I liked about this book. One is the research and the content were pretty phenomenal. Carmelo, he focused on the content, the delivery, and the presentation styles of Steve Jobs, and he gave various examples, giving in detail almost everything that you needed to know. The second is the number of examples, anecdotes, and specific instances were quite a number. In fact, if you look into the book, he even has moments where he breaks down the speeches into bits and pieces, along with speeches, even the words that he gave, and what is it that he did along with saying those words. So pretty intense, pretty advanced, and it revolved around the IT theme throughout. The third is the excitement that the author had towards Steve Jobs is very evident. There was aplomb, there was amazement, there was admiration for Steve Jobs, and I think he carried it throughout the book, so you do not get bored at any point of time. However, saying that, there are certain areas that I felt maybe, just maybe, that others might look at it as not so great book. So what are they? One is, if you're not a fan of Steve Jobs, or you do not know his history, or you're not very much of an IT guy, you might not actually like this book that very much, because it revolves around Steve Jobs and everything that he did. The second thing is, this is not a treasure chest of one-liners, anecdotes, and illustrations and examples that you can use anywhere and everywhere. Almost speakers like to have a treasure chest of, let's say, takeaways that they can use for later functions, so it doesn't have anything of that sort. The third is, it revolves around Steve Jobs and his IT world. So there is nothing more than just this. So if you're looking for, say, quotations of Abraham Lincoln or incidents, let's say, that can relate to emotional talk or logical talk or a theme or such, or you're looking into what is happening, let's say, around the world. There's nothing more than Steve Jobs and the IT world in itself. So there is where, that is another place where you can actually maybe feel disheartened about this book. But overall, if I had to rate this book, given my personal view, I would say this is an absolutely great book. I'm a fan of Steve Jobs, I'm a fan of presentation, and I admire Steve Jobs for being the champion salesperson that he was. So if you ask me, this is a book worth having for me. However, if you are a speaker, you're looking for a treasure chest of anecdotes, illustrations, examples that you can use elsewhere, no, this is not the book. This is a very well-researched, well-documented, and well-presented book that would give you knowledge, that would enlighten you. However, it is not something that you can use for later presentations. Having said that, I rated this book 9 out of 10 because I love the book and I think there's a lot I learned from it, and I think it added a lot of value. So overall, ladies and gentlemen, this is The Presentation Secrets of Steve Jobs by Carmine Gallo, and if you want to buy it, I would say go ahead. Thank you very much for watching. Loy Machedo from loymachedo.com and Loy Machedo TV. Goodbye for now.